Hello and welcome to St Michael's Hill for the February update from the layout. As you can see, we're in the garage, which is signs of the progress that's been made over the last month for sure. There's quite a lot to show you. There's definitely been some work on the baseboards. In fact, the tripod right now is stood on some of them, so definitely something to show you there. There's been a fair bit of kind of stock ins and outs, and I'll kind of go into the reasons behind those. I've also been working on another couple of little projects as well, so I'll give you a quick look at those and talk to you about what I'm going to be getting up to in March, where hopefully there'll be even more progress made. So, before we get cracking with everything, I just wanted to kind of give a quick thank you again to all the new subscribers, as always. I haven't really been posting much. I think this month is probably the month I've posted least since the channel started, and there's still new subscribers coming in, so thank you very much to those people. It really does mean a lot. So hopefully there'll be more content over the next kind of month or so as projects kind of take place, and the layout is going to get more into a position where I can start laying track and running trains, although don't expect to kind of have fully laid track by the end of March, because that's certainly not going to happen. But hopefully you'll get a lot more of an idea of what's going on with the layout by then. So the big news this month is, as you can see, that we have baseboards standing on legs with tops on them. It's been a lot of work getting to this point, and there's still a lot to do. As you can see, there's still lots of various kind of levels of finished boards. So all the frames are over there. You can see the legs kind of behind the sheets and other sheets ready to kind of be used. But the big news is that I think this is an 8-foot length by 2 foot wide, all kind of ready to go. The tops aren't fitted yet. I have bought some screws. I just need to kind of get those screwed in, but hopefully that will be done fairly quickly. The little lip here, incidentally, is for basically adhesion to the lift out section, so it's just going to kind of pop in there, and this little lip's going to just give me a little bit more of a tighter fit. So don't worry, the top isn't 10mm too short. Very happy with how they've gone together. I will try and show you inside the frame and how the legs have gone on in a second. It just involves probably moving the tops of the board, so I might give you a demonstration on the frames over here, but it's very nice kind of way it's gone in. The leg is still fully removable. This bolt here can be slid out and then the leg removed, but it's very strong when it's in place. So very happy with how they've gone together. So these two boards will end up making up probably about 60 or 70% of the fiddle yard. As you can see, just very roughly, we've got 4 tracks here, probably going to be 10 or 11 tracks in the fiddle yard at the end of it. I could probably get these a little bit closer, to be honest, but yeah, very pleased with how they've gone together. They look very smart, and once they're in the final position, I will adjust the feet on them just to make sure they're entirely level. At the moment they're slightly on a bit of a skew width to each other, but the adjustable feet need to be kind of adjusted to allow that to happen. To give you an idea of where these are going in the final garage, they will go along from this door here, along where the old layout currently is sat. So these will have that underneath. Incidentally, the storage that's kind of underneath them at the moment will actually fit between the legs, so I will probably keep most of that storage, and the layout that's over there will probably end up, I've said this before, where this wood is, and the layout will kind of remain on top of it. So that's been kind of the big thing for this week, this month. The rest of them are going to go up fairly quickly. Now these are in a position that basically the legs can be put on straight away and get them up. So I'm hoping to start work on the other side in the next kind of day or so, and try and get a few more up and running. said that I would show you how the legs kind of work. So you can see here there's a pocket that's been made and fixed to the frame of the board. That's out of 18mm plywood. I've used a slightly harder wood than the frame, so that's birch rather than poplar. And then the leg kind of fits straight into the middle, and this bolt then goes all the way through and out to the other side. So those bolts are fairly hefty. I think they are they're M8 bolts, but they are fairly long, getting on for 10 centimeters long. I think I'll be able to check that, and if that's wrong I'll pop it up on the bottom of the screen. But fairly hefty bolt that goes through all of that and keeps it fairly tidy. The other thing that I've been working on quite a lot this month is this kit from Petite Properties. It's basically a low relief kind of row of houses. You can see it's kind of like just over half a house in terms of its depth, and I've basically been putting these together. Now, I picked them up at the Stafford Model Railway Show, which was something I attended with Steve Smith, and very impressed by basically the range they had and the price. So these row of 3 houses was £8.99, and basically they come as a laser cut wood kind of finish, and they basically sell papers to go on top, so brick paper or other textures. I didn't really want to go down that route, so I've taken the basic shell they've got, and I'm basically kit bashing it. So the brick on the end is a plasticard that's been kind of cut to shape. I've also done the same on the sides here, and then these other ones here have basically had a very light layer of easy plaster that I use for hard standing gone on them to give them kind of that mortar finish look, and kind of gives that texture that you would expect. I've painted the one on the left hand side, and the one in the middle at the moment is unpainted, although I probably will end up painting that one as well, and then giving them a good weathering. Been really impressed with the kits. I'm actually putting together a video on how this is all going together, so I won't go on too much about them in this video, but I'll certainly leave a link in the description below. I'd certainly recommend. The kit has gone together very nicely, and there's quite a lot of detail. You can see just where the red door is, the white frame that goes around it is kind of a nice little touch, separately fitted part that kind of neatens everything up. Around the back, it's fairly simple, so I'm kind of adding bits of card here to create a floor that will go across, which will give me 2 things. One, the ability to put the interiors in, and 2, the ability to kind of stop light bleed coming through if I want to light up various rooms. So that's what I'm going to be doing to finish that off, and I will be inserting lighting. There are pre-cut holes in the bottom to kind of allow anything like that to come through, so that's something that I will be doing when it comes to this. Speaking of scale model scenery, they were also at the Stafford Model Railway Show, so I picked up a few more kits. Firstly was the office desks, which I'm going to use both in the houses that I've just shown you, and also the container office, also by Scale Model Scenery. It's a very nice little kit. Very small parts. I'm going to have fun putting that together for sure. Hopefully they come out looking very nice, but ultimately they are going to be kind of inside of buildings, so you won't see them too much. The other things I've kind of bought are for track detailing when it comes to the main layout. I bought some catch pits, and also the concrete line-side cable trunking. Very much a bit of an experiment really. I want to put together a few of these just to see how easy they are and how they look. I've seen lots of other people on YouTube and in real life using these, but I've not had any experience with how they've gone together, so I just wanted to have a go with them, see how I can make them look, and then hopefully end up using them on the new layout. Again, the catch pits, very much of the era that I'm modelling, were an important part, and I've gone for the slightly more the older versions rather than the ones with the blue plastic tops, which are slightly too modern for the era that I'm modelling. So hopefully I'll be getting those together in March, and just to see how they go, really. As always, if you are interested in anything from Scale Model Scenery, I do have an affiliate link. Please click in the description below, and I'll get a couple of pence if you order from those guys. So it would be great for me, but better for them, and probably best for you, because you'll end up with some great product. Pretty much everything that I featured from Scale Model Scenery I've just loved, so hopefully these will be no different. This month I made a few decisions regarding stock on the layout, driven primarily by the kind of late arrival of the Hattons Class 66. I kind of lost a little bit of patience with Hattons around it. It's not so much that it's late, but it's just the lack of communication. But I don't want to get too much into bashing Hattons or anyone else. Like, Hattons have always been great with me and for me in terms of delivering what I wanted. So let's kind of ignore that. And it does look like a very, very good model. But I basically made the decision that I would cancel my order for the 66 and then change probably the time period of the layout slightly. I'd increased it to the kind of mid 2000s as well, for a couple of reasons. One was because I was going to get a Class 66. Now, I know that they were around at the very end of the 90s, especially coming through kind of South Wales. That's where they actually got delivered and were first kind of brought across. So I could certainly have run a Class 66. However, there wasn't really much other stock that was kind of making me kind of run that late, other than the TEA tanker wagons that you've probably seen me review on the channel before. I'll leave a link to that review below. They were, or they are, incredible wagons. I really, really love them, and because of that, I kind of was bending the kind of time scale of the layout a little bit. But I basically decided, with the Class 66 not going to be joining the fleet, I would actually get rid of those wagons. So I've actually sold already the VTG red ones, and the EWS ones are currently for sale. And as I record this, the day before it goes up on YouTube, so this is February 28th, they're still available. So if you're interested in them, get in touch. I'll drop my email address in the comment section below. Drop me an email, and we can obviously chat about that. So the TEA tankers are going. I've got 3 of the VTG red ones and 3 of the EWS ones, so they're all going to be leaving the fleet. The other kind of casualties of this kind of time progression are this Class 57. So again, it's another beautiful loco, DCC fitted, that I will probably end up selling in the next kind of month or so. Again, if you're interested in it, let me know. I have kind of given first refusal to Jack over at Rattling Road, but if you're interested and he's not, then get in touch. But like I said, Jack's got first refusal on that one. Another thing that will be leaving the fleet is this Class 09 in mainline livery. Now, whilst this was around in the period that I'm modelling, I think it was painted into these colours in 1996. It was very much based, as far as I'm aware, at Old Oak Common, and certainly not going to be getting up into South Wales very often, if at all. So that's going to be sold as well. It's currently listed on Facebook, I think, for 65 quid. It's been hardwired for DCC. So if you're interested, again, contact me on Facebook or drop me an email. The other thing that kind of went but has been very quickly replaced are the silver bullets that I showed you probably a couple of weeks ago. When I bought them, the intention was to weather them up. However, it was since kind of announced that Dapol were releasing a new kind of bunch of these, so I've picked up a couple of the weathered ones from James down at GCC Train Automation, who had them at an amazing price, better than Hatton's or Rails or anywhere else. So I've kind of sold the pristine ones and got a couple of these in, which probably better suits the enterprise kind of train that I'll be building. Lots of kind of stock that was kind of very aged, and I think Dapol have done a very good job on the weathering on these ones. So that's pretty much, I think, right now everything that's going to be going. So not much left to kind of sell, but certainly a little bit. But there have been some kind of incomings to replace some of this stuff. Moving away from kind of locos a little bit, just because I've got a fair few. I need to kind of start building the wagon collection, so been very much focused on that. First three wagons are very typical of something you would have seen in South Wales in the kind of time period I'm kind of working on these HAA merry-go-round coal hoppers. I'm going to be building a train of these. Now the two on the left are kind of the more modern, super detailed version, and the one on the right is a kind of older traditional Hornby one with the old D-link coupling. So I will be probably having a go at trying to put an NEM pocket on this one on the right hand side, just so it can kind of run easily in a rake and be a little bit less obtrusive. The ones on the left here are kind of NEM fitted, so I will either use KDs or another type of coupling that I might get into next month, depending on various things. But there's kind of a few options there. Quite interested in the new Hunt couplings, although I kind of have a couple of reservations around those on wagons. But as this will be a fixed rake, I might well give those a look. But if not, it will be KDs. The one in the middle is actually fitted with a KD. And a tension lock for some reason, but I picked those up on eBay. I've got a couple more on their way, so I guess the plan is to kind of get a semi-decent rake of these. These would have been running very, very long trains, but I'll probably look to get maybe 10, 12, 15, something like that, to kind of run them in a decent kind of semi-prototypical rake. The last thing that I picked up this month is the biggest purchase of all, and probably won't surprise many people, but it is the Class 158 in regional railways from Bachmann. Again, I picked this up from James at DCC Train Automation, who ordered it in for me. Very, very pleased with it. It's a wonderful model, and I'll kind of show you that in a few running shots after this little talk, but very, very good model. This will be running a lot of the commuter services during the time period that I was modelling, so it's very much a must-have really on the layout. The other thing, which is very nice, is for the meantime it's certainly able to run on the old layout, and the running shots I'll be giving you soon will be of it running on that layout. It's a stunning model. I'm very, very happy to have it in the fleet. One thing I would be very interested to see is if Bachmann ever release the working coupling that is on the front that can be fitted to other DMUs, so they could run in multiple. I certainly have got a Class 150 and a 153. It would be very interesting to be able to kind of run those alongside the 158, but we'll see. I can't imagine I'll be getting another one of these unless they're drastically reduced at any point, so I can't ever see them running together in multiple on my layout at least. But yeah, very, very, very nice model. The one thing that's slightly annoying, and it's a strange one with DMUs, because I guess manufacturers have to make a choice, but it's the destination blinds. This one is Liverpool Lime Street, and obviously it's something that's not quite prototypical for where I'll be running these. It would be nice to have had kind of some sort of choice. I know Realtrack did that with their 156. I'm not sure if that's really an option for Bachmann, but what would be amazing is if they either offered various kind of name or destination boards, or the ability to change them fairly easily. But as it is, I can certainly overlook that. So that's pretty much an overview of what's kind of come in and what's going to be leaving the layout in the next kind of month or so. Certainly a shame to be saying goodbye to some of the locos, especially the Class 57. Really liked it, but it's just not going to fit with what I'm doing, and I don't have the money really to be hoarding stock that I'm not going to be using so much. So I know a lot of people will be saying, you know, use rule 1, but for me, a lot of the interest is keeping things fairly prototypical. So those will be leaving at some point, and will be replaced with kind of probably more wagons as we go along, but trying to keep the coffers fairly balanced. So there we go, that is the February update on St Michael's Hill. During March, I will be at the Ali Pali show in London, so if you fancy coming and saying hello, then by all means do. It'd be good to talk to some of you. I'm sure there'll be some sort of meetup or something organised by one of the bigger groups, so I may well be along to that. I think I'll be going on the Saturday, and hopefully I'm going to be filming some kind of content, maybe a couple of interviews with people, so that will be hopefully fairly interesting. Also during March, I'm going to be trying to progress the baseboards as much as possible. A lot of the frames that you've seen have legs that are ready to go on, so hopefully we'll get those up and running. And also I hope to finish the house that we've kind of gone through in this video. As well as that, I'm planning on getting the lighting fitted to the scale model scenery container office, and I'll certainly be kind of giving a good go at getting some of those scale model scenery kits that I showed you before finished and ready to go onto the layout. Thanks very much for joining me, and I will see you again very soon on St Michael's Hill. Thanks very much. Goodbye.